What if the legends we grew up hearing were real?
That's a centaur.
People are now capturing creatures once believed to exist only in myths and storybooks. From prehistoric monsters to impossible beings, these unbelievable encounters will take you into a world you will never forget. Seeing horses might be common, except that this winged entity filmed in the forests of Vermont left a man stunned as he recorded what he believed he could not otherwise trust his own eyes to confirm. The encounter reportedly began hours earlier when he noticed a winged, horse-like creature emerging from a cave, seemingly being chased by a white, ape-like figure. Later, while moving through the woodland, he encountered the same being again and began filming. The footage appears to show a Pegasus-like creature, unlike anything recognized by wildlife authorities, and its origin and identity remain completely unexplained since the recording surfaced. Gargoyle appearance. On two separate occasions, footage from different parts of the world surfaced within days of each other on April 14th, 2026, both claiming to show gargoyle-like figures, raising speculation that such beings might exist beyond architectural folklore. The first sighting reportedly occurred in the Sierra de los Cuchumatanes in Guatemala, where a winged figure was filmed briefly spreading its wings in an open area. Shortly after, a second clip emerged from a beach in the Middle East, showing a similar winged entity, this one also featuring horn-like structures. The timing and matching descriptions, despite no connection between the locations or witnesses, led some viewers to link the incidents and question their authenticity. Centauro sighting.
That's a centaur. I don't believe my eyes.
Several sources have recently shared footage, some old, some more recent, showing a being long believed to exist only in Greek mythology. Sightings span 3 separate locations: a hiker in the forests of Michigan, an encounter in the hilly areas of New Mexico, and a third from the forests of Montana. Each clip shows a figure bearing the upper body of a human, joined at the waist to the body and legs of a horse, moving through the terrain with a fluidity that those who reviewed it described as inconsistent with any costume. How something of this nature has appeared across multiple American states without any official acknowledgement remains the question none of the footage has answered.
This is real.
Dragon taken down? After the military cordoned off a section of the Angeles National Forest in California, a local man reportedly slipped past the perimeter out of curiosity to see what was being concealed. From a distance, he observed multiple armed soldiers gathered around a massive white creature lying on the ground. Witnesses described it as having large wings, an oversized body, and a long snout with sharp, spine-like protrusions running down its back. The man claimed the creature moved its wings weakly, suggesting it had been sedated. Alarmed by the heavy security presence and realizing he had gone too far, he quickly retreated before being detected. Mothman appearance. A lone driver on a rural road came to a stop after finding a winged creature standing directly in front of the vehicle, its wingspan alone enough to confirm it was unlike anything encountered on a road before. The sound it produced was described as unlike anything from this planet. A separate sighting was then reported near the Wabash River in Indiana, where a winged creature with glowing red eyes was filmed and described by locals as matching every defining feature of the legendary Mothman. 2 encounters, 2 separate locations, and 1 creature that has carried no confirmed scientific classification despite decades of reported sightings across the country. Sasquatch or werewolf. This tall humanoid figure was observed moving silently across snow on 2 legs in a frozen and remote forest on the 3rd of April, 2026. Witnesses described its movement as deliberate and purposeful. It neither stumbled nor behaved like any known animal, advancing with long, steady strides and a fixed forward gaze as though fully aware of its direction. Its head appeared wolf-like, and its body was fur-covered, yet it maintained full bipedal locomotion throughout the entire encounter. Observers compared it to accounts of both a werewolf and Sasquatch, creatures long associated with winter wilderness and tracks that shift between bipedal and quadrupedal forms. Its identity remains entirely unverified. Cornered dragon juvenile. A ranch owner on the outskirts of Acapulco, Mexico, heard his dogs suddenly barking and went to investigate, finding they had cornered something in the yard that none of them were willing to approach any further. What they had backed into a corner bore a striking resemblance to what viewers immediately identified as a juvenile dragon small enough to be cornered by the dogs, yet unusual enough to leave the owner searching for a way to drive it off rather than handle it directly. He eventually used flame as a deterrent, which appeared effective. Where the creature came from and where it went after leaving the property has not been determined. Dino beings. In the Algerian desert, a group of hikers came across the scene of a two-vehicle accident on a mountain road and noticed something far more alarming than the crash itself. A swarm of unknown animals had gathered at the site, moving among the wrecked vehicles as though searching for the occupants. The creatures bore characteristics the hikers described as consistent with raptors' fast, intelligent, and working together in a way suggesting organized behavior rather than opportunistic scavenging. Positioned upwind on the hillside, the group avoided detection and filmed from a distance, watching whatever had gathered around those vehicles in the Algerian desert with no safe way of getting any closer. Oregon Griffin. On the 12th of February, 2025, a driver passing through the Oregon countryside came across something from his car window that stopped him entirely and prompted him to reach for his phone immediately. What he filmed has been widely described online as a real-life griffin, a creature from mythology combining the nature of an eagle with the power and form of a lion, considered entirely fictional until footage bearing its exact description appeared on a winter road in Oregon. The driver captured what he could before the creature moved out of range, leaving behind a clip that has drawn significant attention from cryptid researchers and those who had previously dismissed the griffin as pure legend. Large insect creature. This footage, recorded on the 25th of March, 2022, by a resident in Ohio, captured a disturbing encounter late at night on an empty road. While driving home after a long journey, the man noticed something unusual crossing ahead and initially dismissed it as exhaustion playing tricks on his vision. However, as he began recording, a strange creature became clearly visible. It appeared large and unnatural, resembling a spider-like form with multiple leg or tentacle-like extensions and a long, pronounced tail. Disturbed by its appearance and movement, he quickly left the area. Since then, no clear explanation has been provided, and the creature's identity remains unknown. Mysterious ferocity. A poultry farmer living near the forests of Washington had been losing chickens without explanation until he finally discovered the cause. The creature captured near his property bore the appearance of something like a werewolf, if not a prehistoric animal, large, furred, and inconsistent with any known predator that could account for missing poultry. The sighting added to growing footage from the same region showing similarly described creatures, suggesting whatever has been moving through that woodland has established a presence rather than passing through. Separately, Google Maps imagery of the same area revealed the remains of what appeared to be an enormous prehistoric creature, large enough in scale to dwarf any known modern animal visible alongside it.
Oh my god, it's really doing it.
Unknown crawlers. Things felt lighthearted when this group of friends went on a late-night hike, just laughing and walking through the woods. As they moved deeper into the forest, they noticed faint, glowing eyes watching from the darkness, which they first assumed were deer. However, the situation quickly became unsettling when pale, thin figures emerged into view, moving in strange, unnatural ways through the trees. Two appeared to be assisting another figure lying motionless on the ground, while a fourth slowly approached from the shadows. Though they did not directly confront the group, their presence caused immediate fear. Online viewers remain divided, with some speculating about supernatural entities like skinwalkers or rakes. Amazon dragon.
Sí.
Around the 25th of January, 2026, explorers who had ventured into the Amazon forest came across something that stopped their expedition entirely. Moving through the dense vegetation above them was a giant winged animal bearing a striking resemblance to a dragon, large enough in scale and distinct enough in form to rule out any known species indigenous to the region. The explorers managed to capture footage before it disappeared beyond the tree line. Despite the Amazon being one of the most biodiverse regions on Earth, no wildlife authority has stepped forward to offer an identification for what was filmed above those trees. Antarctica Yeti. Researchers in Antarctica were in the middle of their work during a heavy blizzard when a large, furry figure became visible, making its way uphill through the storm. The being bore a close resemblance to descriptions of a yeti, enormous, furred, and moving through the extreme conditions with an ease suggesting it was entirely at home in that environment. The researchers began filming before the creature suddenly appeared to notice it was being recorded, at which point the clip cuts off abruptly. What happened in the seconds immediately after remains unknown, and no official record of the encounter has been filed by any Antarctic research body since the footage surfaced. Chupacabra caught.
¿Qué demonios es esto? Graben bien que nadie va a creerlo.
Mexican farmers losing livestock without explanation set traps for whatever was responsible and were stunned by what they caught. The creature found in the trap was unlike anything they could immediately identify, beastly in appearance and entirely outside the range of any known local predator. After sharing footage online, the internet was largely united in one conclusion. What the farmers had trapped bore the closest resemblance to a chupacabra of anything documented in recent years. The legendary creature, long associated with livestock attacks across Latin America and dismissed by mainstream science as folklore, had apparently been operating on a Mexican farm until the day the traps were set. Pet griffin.
All right, call, ready? And go!
In a rural area of Montana, footage showed a man walking with what appeared to be a griffon on a leash, treating it as though it were a domestic animal under his care. The creature had large wings yet appeared juvenile, not fully grown, which may have made it manageable enough to walk through open land. The footage raised immediate questions about where the creature came from, how the man had come to possess it, and what keeping a griffon would mean for anyone nearby once it reached full adult size. No explanation has been offered by the man filmed, and no authority has addressed the footage since it began circulating. Humanoid creature. An incident reported on the 13th of April 2026 involved a video filmed in broad daylight showing a humanoid, alien-like figure standing motionless in a canal. The figure remained still for several moments before turning and appearing to look directly toward the camera, with its unnatural proportions and rigid posture suggesting a level of awareness that unsettled viewers. Moments later, it slipped into the water and swam away, using movements that did not resemble any known human or animal swimming pattern. Since the footage began circulating, no verified explanation has been provided for what was seen in the canal that afternoon. Horrific figure. A man out fishing late at night in a remote swamp area of Florida reported a strange incident while enjoying the quiet surroundings. He noticed unusual movement in the water, as if something was hiding beneath the surface. Curiosity led him to place a chicken as bait and set up a camera to observe what might appear. After a period of stillness, a bizarre creature slowly emerged from the swamp water, described as having thick fur and an unsettling facial appearance. It approached the bait, took the chicken, consumed it, and then retreated into the water without hesitation. The identity of the creature remains unknown. Reptile climber. In a terrifying video that began circulating online on February 11th, 2026, a strange humanoid figure was reportedly seen climbing cliffs in the Himalayas without any ropes or equipment. The figure moved with striking speed and precision, scaling near vertical rock faces that would be extremely difficult for trained climbers. Observers noted its unusual physical traits, including elongated limbs, an oddly shaped torso, and what appeared to be a tail-like extension, giving it an unnatural appearance. Experienced climbers familiar with the region described its movement as highly abnormal. In the final moments of the footage, the figure disappears into a dark mountain cave, leaving its identity unknown. Street werewolf. Around the 3rd of March, 2026, multiple pieces of footage began emerging from different streets across a small city in Brazil, each showing witnesses claiming to have encountered the same beastly creature after dark. The figure captured across these clips bore the unmistakable form of a humanoid wolf, not an animal that happened to move on two legs, but something whose entire anatomy was that of a werewolf operating openly within a populated city. The compilation from different sources across the same city gave the footage a collective weight that individual clips rarely carry, suggesting whatever was moving through those Brazilian streets that week was doing so regularly and without effort at concealment. Mysterious marine animals. On the 29th of April, 2026, footage showing bizarre creatures crawling out of the water onto a beach began circulating online. Moving low and dog-like, the longer the footage ran, the stranger their form appeared, bodies too slick and unnatural for any documented species, combining qualities of sea creature, canine, and something closer to old sailor descriptions of mermaids. The footage raised a question as unsettling as the creatures themselves, in an age where anything strange is instantly dismissed as AI-generated. Would genuine evidence of an unknown species even be recognized as real, or has the technology that fabricates monsters also become the perfect cover for the ones that actually exist? Walking tree monster. In June 2017, tourists in Barbados reportedly captured unusual footage of a massive figure rising from the ocean that left onlookers stunned and confused. The creature appeared extremely tall, with long limbs and a broad upper body that resembled either a densely branched tree or a heavily overgrown form. Its surface seemed covered in textures that looked like fur, moss, or leafy growth, adding to its unnatural appearance. As it moved slowly from the water, observers struggled to identify it as any known marine or terrestrial life. With no clear explanation available, speculation quickly spread, ranging from rare natural phenomena to possible extraterrestrial origins. Colorado Chupacabra? Janae Lynn, 30, from Pueblo, Colorado, first encountered the creature on the afternoon of 10 April 2025, when she found it sitting in the road outside her home. It showed no fear, turned to look directly at her, and gave her what she described as the chills before she went back inside. When she told others, nobody believed her until it returned days later and she had a camera ready. The footage left wildlife officials unable to provide a definitive identification, with speculation split between a chupacabra and a skinwalker. Its red eyes, fearlessness, and repeated return to the same property have made the case one of the more compelling unexplained animal sightings in recent years. Beast on thermals. A drone that was equipped with a thermal camera captured something in the forest that has left viewers debating both the identity and scale of what was recorded. The footage shows a massive furry beast in active pursuit of two people, with thermal imaging making the size difference between the creature and its targets unmistakably clear. The heat signature registered at an intensity consistent with something considerably larger than any known predator in that forest. Whether it was an agitated Sasquatch, an unknown species, or something with no classification yet, the two people being chased did not stop to find out, and the drone footage suggests they were right not to. Scavenger crowd. A tenant in a high-rise hotel in Hong Kong was left deeply unsettled when two large scavenger birds appeared outside the window and fixed their attention entirely on him. The birds sat motionless at the glass, focused with a persistence far removed from ordinary urban wildlife behavior. Seconds after capturing the footage, a third arrived, joining the others in what felt less like a coincidence and more like something deliberate. Whether drawn by instinct, by something they sensed about the individual on the other side of the glass, or by something else entirely, the tenant was not comfortable remaining in the room once the third bird showed up. Giant with dragon. Degraded 1,992 handheld camcorder footage from a remote mountain valley shows something that has defied every conventional explanation since it surfaced. A colossal primitive giant stands in the valley, and in front of it, a massive dark-scaled dragon with wings, fully spread strains against a thick rope held in the giant's grip. The dragon rises into the air with enough force to pull the rope taut, the giant digging its feet into the ground and leaning back as the rope creaks under the tension between them. Degraded and unstable as the footage is, what it captures has proven impossible for most viewers to simply set aside. Mysterious beast creature. On the 29th of January, 2026, footage emerged from what appeared to be a secure, government-controlled containment facility in Nevada, showing a strange creature confined under strict official supervision. The surrounding region has long been associated with unexplained sightings and mysterious activity, lending the footage a geographic credibility that similar clips from other locations might not carry. Its unusual appearance sparked immediate, widespread speculation, ranging from an extraterrestrial life form to the result of a failed biological experiment. No official explanation has been released by any authority connected to the facility, and the footage continues to circulate with nothing to anchor it to a confirmed origin or classification. Chile fairies.
It looks like he's so healthy.
In a wooded area of Chile, a local made a discovery that placed him in the middle of a debate most people never expect to find themselves part of. The tiny humanoid creatures he found had glowing eyes and wings, bearing an appearance matching folkloric descriptions of fairies far more closely than anything currently documented in Chilean wildlife. Whether they were the benevolent beings of traditional fairy lore, or something carrying a darker nature beneath their small winged form, the footage has not settled that question. The creatures have not been identified by any authority, and the location where they were found has not been disclosed since the footage was shared.
No me voy a mover, no hasta que se vaya.
North Carolina mystery.
Look at that.
On the 6th of January, 2023, a boat captain near the coast of southeastern North Carolina filmed something moving through the water that has left viewers guessing ever since. The dark creature visible beneath the surface defied the most obvious comparisons. Not quite an alligator in movement, not quite a whale in proportion, yet large and deliberate enough to rule out any small or easily dismissed marine animal. Viewers reached for three main possibilities: alligator, whale, or the Loch Ness Monster, none of which held up cleanly against what the footage actually shows. The creature has not been identified, and those coastal waters have offered no further evidence of what was moving through them that morning. Mysterious gathering. Camper, who was refilling his canteen from a stream in the Idaho wilderness on the 4th of January 2026, uploaded footage showing a disturbing gathering of unknown beings nearby. The figures showed no resemblance to any known primates, instead appearing in forms that some viewers compared to goblin-like creatures, though larger and more unsettling than traditional folklore descriptions. According to the camper, he had been alone in the wilderness and unaware of anything nearby until he happened to turn in their direction. The beings appeared grouped with coordinated stillness, as if sharing intent rather than wandering randomly. The footage quickly spread online, sparking speculation about what was seen. Mexico gnome.
Ven, le dije que no estaba loco. Ahora sí, por fin lo agarré.
A farmer in Mexico claimed to have captured a gnome in his field, and footage he shared spread rapidly across multiple countries. The creature, small, distinctly non-human, and moving with a quality unlike any ordinary animal, bore a close resemblance to what folklore across many cultures describes as a gnome, a nature spirit said to inhabit woodlands and fields, known for being mischievous, but generally benevolent toward those it favors. Gnome encounters have been reported across history, yet rarely documented on camera, making the farmer's footage notable for those who follow such accounts. Whether this was a genuine nature spirit or something else entirely, that Mexican field yielded something that morning with no straightforward explanation.
Me costó, pero ya es mío. Respira, se mueve.
Prehistoric carcass. Old footage recorded on the 20th of August 2014 recently began circulating, showing what appeared to be the carcass of a gigantic prehistoric animal, identified by many viewers as bearing the closest resemblance to a dragon of anything documented on camera. The carcass appeared fresh at the time of filming, not fossilized remains, but something that had died recently enough to still look intact. Skeptics questioned its authenticity, yet those who examined it closely noted it bore none of the characteristics of AI generation or fabrication. Marching giant. Passerby on a hiking trail through the deep wilderness of British Columbia came across a figure only a couple of meters downhill that stopped the walk entirely. Tall, furry, and moving through the terrain with a deliberateness unlike any animal encountered on that trail before. The figure was close enough to study, yet far enough to decide to approach or retreat. Genuinely difficult. The passerby believed he was looking at a Bigfoot, and the footage captured before the figure moved deeper into the woodland has since been reviewed by those who follow such encounters in wooded regions. Cornered werewolf. A video uploaded to Instagram on the 28th of March 2026 by an unidentified source showed what appeared to be a strange creature confined inside a room resembling a high-security holding cell. The scene was seemingly recorded through reinforced glass using a concealed camera, suggesting the subject was being monitored. Its appearance and movements led many viewers to compare it to a werewolf, though no confirmation could be made. The footage was captured entirely in darkness, offering limited visibility. No details were provided about who was responsible for containing it, where the facility was located, or what became of the creature afterward. Restricted area. Hiker in California reportedly experienced a frightening encounter after unknowingly approaching a restricted area deep within the woods. As he neared a fenced boundary, he suddenly heard the sound of something rapidly moving nearby. Reacting quickly, he turned his camera toward the noise and briefly captured a pale, humanoid figure rushing in his direction. The figure's speed and appearance appeared unnatural, leaving little time for him to react or fully understand what he was seeing. The footage ends abruptly, and what follows remains unclear. The incident has since circulated widely, raising questions about what may exist beyond clearly marked restricted zones. Giant hands. This trail camera, which was set up in a remote forest in 2021, captured a strange and unexplained close-up that quickly gained attention online. The footage showed what appeared to be a set of large, furry fingers moving near the lens, prompting immediate speculation among viewers. Some believe the unusual size and structure did not resemble a human hand, noting the elongated fingers and distinct proportions. This led to theories that the image could be linked to a possible Sasquatch sighting, while others suggested it might be a misidentified animal. Despite ongoing debate, no clear explanation has been confirmed, leaving the mystery unresolved. Dipped lurkers. A clip taken back in April 2024 shows a disturbing scene captured after a camera was positioned facing a remote river at night. As the footage plays, strange figures begin to emerge from beneath the water's surface, moving slowly and silently. Their eyes appear to reflect light in the darkness, while their pale skin and disheveled hair give them an unsettling appearance. The beings unnaturally glide through the water, sparking speculation among viewers about what they might be. Local accounts mention the river's troubled history and past tragedies, leading to rumors of restless spirits or other unknown entities associated with the area, though nothing has ever been confirmed. Backyard call. A man was checking his trail camera after hearing something outside late at night and found footage that prompted him to call for help immediately. Something had crossed his backyard fast and moving in a way bearing no resemblance to any human or known animal. In the recording of the emergency call, his fear is audible as he tells the dispatcher it is not human before the call cuts off entirely.
What was that, sir?
That's not human! That's not human!
Sir, are you okay, sir?
No follow-up was ever provided, no official explanation released, and no further contact from the man surfaced after that night. The trail camera footage and the 911 call are the only records of whatever crossed that backyard in the dark. Ocean creatures. 3 college friends were on a late-night boat trip near the tongue of the ocean north of the Bahamas when unusual movement beneath the vessel began around midnight. What they initially dismissed as dolphins soon appeared far more disturbing, as pale, fast-moving shapes with elongated limbs began circling the boat, accompanied by splashing and faint sounds resembling distant voices over the water. One figure briefly surfaced, revealing a human-like face and long hair, leading some later speculation to suggest possible mermaid-like or siren connections rooted in local maritime folklore. The group returned safely but remained deeply shaken. The incident was not publicly discussed until years later, and no official explanation has been provided. One-eyed giant. A leaked video circulating online appears to show alleged footage from 2002 during what some claim was a covert CIA operation inside a cave, where a humanoid figure with a single eye is seen holding a goat. The clip is said to have been removed from official records, leaving only this fragment as supposed evidence of the encounter. Viewers who believe in its authenticity describe it as beyond conventional explanation, noting the figure's unusual anatomy as unlike any known human form. Some speculative interpretations online have even linked the imagery to apocalyptic figures, such as the Antichrist or Dajjal from religious narratives, though no official confirmation or verification of the footage exists. Nuevo Bigfoot. Trail camera footage posted on the 21st of March, 2026, from deep woodland in Nuevo County, western Michigan, captures a large, human-like figure with ape-like features, eyes locked directly onto the lens as though fully aware it has been recorded. 2 additional photographs taken by a separate source in the same area were later obtained, showing the same creature moving through the forest. The Michigan DNR has fielded 226 Bigfoot reports over the past decade, yet issued no official acknowledgement, with most reports directed to private organizations, since government bodies have consistently refused to document what an increasing number of witnesses continue to encounter in national park areas where such sightings are disproportionately concentrated.